Okay. All right. How is everybody doing this evening on this beloved Sunday? I hope everyone is doing well. Come on. I'm having some technological difficulties amongst other things today. But, you know, it's really, really terribly hot here. Okay. Like I'm talking 95,000 degrees, blazing hip hop and R&B. The corn sweat is insane. And I worked this weekend. I had to work doubles. Okay. I'm exhausted, but something like was on my spirit to just go live today with you all. So that's what we're doing. So this stream is going to be very casual. Okay. I really don't have a whole lot planned or organized, except as the title would suggest, we will be doing some free readings. Okay. These readings are completely free. Okay. If you would like to tip, instructions on how to do so are in the description. However, like no pressure, for real. Do not feel like you have to tip. I do prioritize a VIP list, which you can be added to if you do tip. However, you can comment in the stream and hopefully I will get to you. And I plan to be streaming for at least an hour, hour and a half. Who knows? We'll see what the vibe is. Honestly, we're hanging out. That's what's important. And, you know, we haven't done this in a while. We haven't done this just you and me stream thing in a while. I've had people on my channel and I've done a lot of video premieres. But we haven't just kind of done something like this in a while. Oh, sorry guys. Let me turn this down a little bit. It's a little too bright for me. It's a little too bright. Oh, okay. So I do have something to show you guys. Okay. That I'm really excited about. You guys know I'm not very technologically savvy, believe it or not. And I put this together and I'm really excited about it. Even though it's super, probably like elementary level web stuff. I'm not good with stuff like that. So I'm excited to share that with you guys. But first, hello. So some of you might be wondering, like, okay, we're doing readings tonight. Like, are we doing tarot? Are we doing oracle? Like, what's the vibe? Okay, the vibe is otherworldly virtues. That's what the vibe is. So put a 1 in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Put a 1 in the chat if you know or are familiar with the concept of otherworldly virtues. Let's see some 1s in the chat. If you're not familiar with it, it's totally okay. Okay, no big deal. Okay. We got to reload, obviously. You also might want to go get yourself a bev. Okay. Maybe a cute little bevy, maybe a nice little tea, maybe a little coffee. I don't know what you're into. Maybe get something like that. Maybe get you a snack. Okay. .5 because I'm not sure. That's okay. So the otherworld virtues. Let's have the class in session for a moment before we begin. That way we can all kind of be on the same page about what we're talking about. So for those of you, oh my God, first of all, for those of you who are new here, hi, my name is Jasmine. I'm a practicing witch. I talk about it here on the internet. Thank you for being here. For those of you who are not new here, thank you so much for coming back. It's really good to see you. I released 3 books, 2 books last year, and then 1 book the year before. The first book was Ambrosia's Book of Witch Flight, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's my personal flight gnosis. Okay, if you're not into UPG, that book's probably not going to be for you. And then the other 2 books are the greater and lesser installment of the first book. The lesser book is basically my book of spirits, and the greater book is my book of otherworldly sorcery, which I will be referencing those in this stream this evening. Okay. So American traditional folkloric witchcraft is the particular variety of witchery that I practice, that I'm initiated in, that I'm a part of. And a really big aspect, not just of ATW, but of, I would say, trad witchery in general, is witch flight. And witch flight can kind of take different forms. But typically we're talking about the other world. So we have our world, the mid world, and then we have other worlds, upper, under, other, as in adjacent to the mid world here. And flight gives us the ability to travel in the midworld as well as the other world. And here in the midworld, we have very terrestrial elements, very fundamental earth, air, fire, water, spirit. But in the other world, we have our otherworldly virtues. So some of you guys are probably already familiar with this, and this might be maybe more of a review. But when I'm talking about the virtues, I'm not necessarily talking about like being virtuous in any way. I'm talking about particular access points of primordial sort of energy that can be accessed, harnessed, manipulated, and woven with as witches. So these types of energy look like light, darkness, life, death, chaos, order, fel, aether, void, oblivion, undeath, nether. Okay, there's a whole wheel, right, of virtues. And the wheel of virtues, there are some images, some art images in the book that depict sort of a primordial map of the other world, along with gates and watchtowers, which are important as well. But tonight, I thought it would just be fun to do something like virtue sorting. I think if you're anything like me, it's always fun, right, to have like your card of the week or your word of the year or your psychic reading for the year. And there's a ritual within the third book that is about a virtue crowning for finding your major and minor virtues, because the wheel is split up between major, minor, and demi virtues. The major virtues would be on the cardinal directions. The minor virtues would be on the, what is that called? They're not cardinal, cross quarter. I can't think of it. Those directions. And then the demi virtues are in between those virtues. I have added all of these virtues onto a wheel, like a big spinning wheel. And they're in no particular order, okay? So like, don't come for me about that. I couldn't figure that out, okay? I don't work in IT. I'm a barber, okay? I'm a beautician, not a mathematician. Hello, let's get into it, okay? So I'm gonna show you what I made, okay? Look at this. Look at this, okay? Don't necessarily love the color scheme. Could not figure out how to change it. Don't worry about it. We're not going to talk about it, okay? This is a virtue wheel that we can hit spin and it will select. This is cute, okay? This is just cute, all right? Take this with as much of a grain of salt as you want. Hey, if you're not into techno witchery, baby, don't, okay. It's not for you. It's not for you. That's totally okay. You know what I'm saying? But I think that this would be really fun. So I encourage you, if you have not already done the crowning virtue from that book that walks you through, you know, connecting with your primary and secondary virtues, go ahead and check that out. We cannot really do that on a live stream, nor do I want to be honest with you. But I think something that would be fun would be for us to spin this wheel and just see what sort of virtue is maybe calling you at this time. How cute, right? Now, I'm not saying that whatever virtue this, you know, web spinner lands on is, you know, says everything about you, whatever, it's for life. Let's just say that this is from now until the end of harvest season. Okay. The red day is upon us. The first harvest is going to be here before y'all know it. Okay, I have these sunflowers in my hair. Hold on. Do you see these sunflowers? Okay, some of the petals are a little crooked, but they're cute, right? I put these on for you. I put these on for you, babe. I think it's very first harvest coated. I really like it. Okay, so if you are interested, what I want you to do is just comment Otherworld in all capital letters once, you guys, not multiple times, once. Comment Otherworld in the chat down below. I will try to get to everyone. If you want to skip the line, you are welcome to send me a tip. It could be a super chat, a cash app, a PayPal, whatever. Okay. If you do, just like maybe put it also in the comments so I don't miss it. Because if you do tip me, I want to make sure I put you on the VIP list and I don't miss you. So like yell at me if you do. And you can skip the line. Okay. Oh, I'm excited. Also, little shameless self-promotion here, y'all. If you're not familiar, all of my books, Ambrosia's Book of Witchflight, Ambrosia's Greater Book and Lesser Book, they're all available on Amazon. Okay. So you can go check those out if you are interested, or don't. Hey, that's fine. Okay. Let me look here at the chat and let me turn this music off. Speaking of music too, y'all, hold on. Sometimes when I have to focus on my electronics, my walleye goes a little crazy. Speaking of music, I have this, and I don't know if it's gonna, okay, hopefully I won't get the big, like, copyright thing, but I'm gonna play this anyway, and I'm sure that this video is not gonna make much for monetization anyway, because I know that these can be kind of annoying to watch, like as a replay. So let's look at the chat. Let's see who's going first. Let's see who's going first. If I have any mods in here who can help me stay on track, that would be nice. Okay. Cage, I see that you tipped. I'm going to mark you here so I don't miss you. Okay. And then I'm going to bring this back up to the top of the chat. I missed so much in the chat because I was ranting. I'm sorry, you guys. Okay, are we ready? Are we ready? Okay. You're the first person to use this super high-tech technology that I spent 8 minutes on. Okay. Let me bring this back up. Okay. Let's spin the wheel. Okay, what do we got? Does it make noise on your guys' side? Can you guys hear that? Void! Oh my God, how delightful. Oh, that's so cute. Does it make noise on your guys' side as well? Okay, let me take this down. So the virtue that we have for you is void, okay? I have my book here. I'm going to be reading directly from this. So void, this is coming from the Southwest. And void is on that virtue wheel. I just took it off the screen, so you probably can't even see it. But it's the cross cardinal point in the Southwest, and it falls between oblivion and nether. So like nether would be the void's kind of like child between chaos, and oblivion is like the child's between death. So talking about void, I love that this is the very first virtue that we're starting off with. Void can be a little spicy, and I do have some spicy feelings about void that I have shared here on my channel before. I feel like getting this virtue right now, void represents very much a sense of like consuming and creation. So think of sort of like the essence of a black hole that consumes everything, but also the essence of the pitch dark cosmos where, you know, that cauldron of creation and everything has come from. It is equally as creating as it is devouring. So I would say also this could be maybe a time to make sure that your wards are amped up. Make sure that you are protected, blessed, highly favored, as is your house, as is all of the things. Just amp up your protections a little bit, okay? Just focus on that maybe a little bit this harvest season. There's so many cute folk charms that you can put at work, in your home, on your person, you know? Maybe get into that a little bit. Okay. Let me get back up here. See who's next. Oh my God, there's so many comments. Thank you guys. Okay. I see a super chat, so let me get to this. Okay. Jennifer, if you are still here, Jennifer, please come to the stage. This next one is going to be for you. Jennifer, are you with us? This next one is going to be for you. All right. Let's give it a spin. You're welcome, Cage. Chaos. Oh, that's so cute. Guys, how cute is that little spin wheel? Come on now. Come on now. Okay. So chaos is in like the far, far south, right? And between chaos, we have void and fell as minor, and we have nether and discord as demi. So chaos very, very much represents, again, this sense of like, the sky is the limit, everything is possible, everything is awesome, all of the time, all of it, all at once, coming at you real quick and in a hurry. It's kind of like all the abundance, be it for everything, like everything good, everything that you would desire, and everything that you don't, coming at you all at once, really loud and in color. It's chaos. So I would think that this harvest season, with chaos being sort of a virtue that's calling you, I would think it would be wise to be really mindful, really, really mindful about the energy that we spend and who we spend it with, about where we are investing our own sort of anima, and really harnessing aspects of chaos that might be flowing into our life and disrupting our plans to make the best use of this sort of energy. Weave with chaos, babe. That's what you got for your harvest season. Okay. Thank you very much. Y'all are more than welcome to also DM me on Instagram if you are on Insta. Okay. If you have questions. Like I said, this is just going to be a super cute vibe for this evening. Okay, let's do Starby. Starby, are you here? Please come to the stage. Starby. We are going to spin your wheel, Starby. Death! We are so left side of the wheel this evening. We are so left side of the wheel. I low-key wish that I could get Astra on to join, because we've been talking a lot about this left side of the wheel. So death as a virtue in the far west is endings, is what it is all about. It's chthonic. It's the underworld. There's some lore within the tower in the west, within the book, that also talks about like access points in the other world to the underworld. And so I feel like this harvest season, you know, we have the season of the witch that's coming up. We also have like the season of the dead and ancestor veneration, be it our mighty or our beloved dead. And so I think that this harvest season, Starby, it would be in your best interest to embrace death and endings and look to your red soul, look to your mighty dead, the witches who have come before us, that you find in reverence. Look to, you know, folkloric witches of the past and historical witches from trials, and pull power and inspiration from that, as well as your beloved dead, your literal ancestors, if that is something that you are open to. I think that it could be really powerful for you this harvest season. Thank you very much. Let me look here in the chat. Oh, I'm so glad. Okay, let me go back up here. I really should have like written this down, or probably done this stream with a friend here to help me. Okay, so I think after Starby, we have Bougie. Bougie, please come to the stage, darling. Bougie, please come to the stage. Darling, are you here, darling? Let's do it. Bougie, this is going to be yours for the harvest season. Abyss. Okay, so this, okay. Boop, boop, boop. So Abyss, we are going to also find this on the left side of the wheel. We have been having all left side of the wheel virtues coming up for everyone so far, which I think is also just kind of fitting, because we are talking about this darker half of the wheel as well. So it makes sense that we have so many left side of the wheel virtues coming up. Abyss. This is what I've actually written in the book. And this is from the greater book. Excuse me. So this is a demi virtue that is made out of darkness as a virtue. And death. This is a primordial ender, bringer down of all below in the watery deeps. Using this demi-virtue in magic can be beneficial for workings related to death, as Abyss is connected to that major virtue. The underworld and all things chthonic, because it is deeply tied with death, with an aquatic twist, with a watery twist, with a depths down below, abyss below, void above. Hello. So a lot of the things that I said about death here for Starby Bougie, I think can also apply to the virtue that is coming up for you during this harvest season. Oh, I thought maybe I missed it. I'm so sorry. But I just did yours, Bougie. So it was Abyss. Okay, I see this super. So we're going to do Mistress next. Astra, honey, hello. I was just talking about you. Were your palms itching? Oh, we have had all left side of the wheel virtues coming up. And I was saying, oh, this would have been so fun to have you on because I know that you and I have been talking privately a lot about left hand or left side of the wheel virtue stuff. So, okay, Mistress, please come to the stage, darling. You will be next. Mistress, we are going to be calling your virtue, darling. Let's spin the wheel for Mistress. Mistress, okay. Okay. So, Mistress, you are our very first right half of the wheel virtue. Honey, you have light, okay? Now, I feel like light sometimes is not always the most popular amongst some of the more trattery of witches, but I think light is a beautiful virtue. Okay. Light represents radiance and beauty and illumination and prophecy and is quite powerful. Not in association necessarily with all things that are good. Everything that is light is not automatically synonymous with of high morals per se. That's important to keep in mind. But I think with getting light as a virtue, this virtue sort of calling for this harvest season is really focusing maybe on shedding light in different areas of your life, using that fiery blasting sort of aspect of the light to purify yourself, be it like your health, like your physical body, your mental health, using that sort of purification. It's also beautification, it's illusions, if you would like to create those glamours, and it's prophecy and it's divination as well. Bending with light. It's also working with perception, like other people's perception of you or their ideas of you as well. There's a lot of different ways that you can take this. And a lot of these aren't going to just be like, oh, for the harvest season, you're going to do this one thing. Because the virtues can be worked with in different ways and blended with in different ways. So if I was to give like some practical ideas, it would be really focusing on your divination, really leaning into your prophetic or oracular abilities, as well as your glamours, and cleansing, doing some purification of yourself and your space. So thank you so much also for the super. Okay, have I missed any other supers? Okay, I don't think I have missed any other supers. So let me get back to where I was in the list. Okay, Jessica White. If you are still here, darling, please come to the stage, Jessica. We are going to be pulling yours next. Okay. Let's do it. Well, Jess, I realized that that was a one and not an otherworld, but we're having you next. That's what we're doing, Jess, if you're still here. Let's spin for Jess. Okay, we're getting some more right half of the wheel. So, Jess, you got Mesmer, which love this for you. Okay. I'm going to be reading you from the book here. So, this demi virtue is made of fel and light. This essence is key in compelling, attracting, and altering perception because it has those aspects of light woven within this virtue. This is a true aspect of glamour. Using mesmer as a demi virtue can be beneficial in manipulating perceptions and creating powerful, like, visages, how you want people to see you when you walk in the room, how you want them to feel you when you walk in the room. So, workings of attraction and allure, as well as creating delusions or blasting through delusions and distractions, is what you should be focusing on for this harvest tide as far as virtues go right now, is mesmer. Mesmerize, honey. Yes. So thank you so much. Yes. Okay. Let me get back to the top of this list. This list scrolling, you guys, honestly, I'm having a lot of fun, but this part of this is not fun. So here's what we're going to do. Instead of me taking 5,000 years because I'm geriatric to try to scroll up through the comments on this little tiny screen that I can not see very well, if you would like a free, again, these are free. If you tip, you skip the line, you enter the VIP line, you're taken next or next in line in the VIP line. If you would like a free sorting, please comment now, Otherworld in all caps, and I'm just going to randomly pick. It might be the first one I see, or I might just randomly pick. So comment now, Otherworld, in all capital letters, if you would like me to spin your wheel. Okay, gray? Great. Oh, what did I just do? God, what did I just do, you guys? Okay, Sam, I clicked on you. I think you commented this earlier, well before I even said that. We're having technological difficulties tonight, okay? I'm sorry. All right, we're going to do this again. Add to stage. Sam, if you are here, this is for you. Let's spin that virtue. That one was kind of close. I wasn't sure which one it was going to end up being, but we got life. So the virtue of life. This is in the far north and that ever verdant sort of plane or aspect. Life is endless and immortal and abundant. You can take the very earthly view of life, in terms of thinking very much about that green witchery, plants, working with animal spirits. You can take that. But life is also like life everlasting, like abundance. I think that this virtue lends itself really well to the harvest season because of how just delightfully earthy it is. And the element of earth very much corresponds to the fall. So I would say that you could weave with life in different ways. I mean, it could come through the lens of bringing forth financial abundance and security with the wealth of life. This could also come into play with your own personal harvest, be it literal or metaphorical. Yeah. So your virtue for this harvest season is life. Give them life. Give them liberty. Give them the pursuit of happiness. Live your life. Okay? Period. Thank you so much. Okay, Astra. Honey. Oh, God. We got a kiki later for sure. I will spin your wheel. Miss Astra, if you are here, please come to the stage. Miss Astra. Miss Astra, we are preparing to spin your wheel. Round. Round and round, we tread the mill. We ready? Okay. Let's give her a rip like a Beyblade. Light. Isn't that a delight, darling? Isn't that a delight that you got the light? So we were just talking about this with some people earlier. I don't know if you've been here the whole time, but I was talking about how I feel like light is very much, it can be purification. It can be prophecy. It can be glamours and perceptions. I feel like you have a pretty good sense of what this is, as I know it is a virtue that you have worked with before. And I feel like it's interesting, given personal paradigms and conversations that we have had, that this virtue is calling you now during this harvest tide. So we probably got a kiki about that later. Gray. Gray, thank you so much. And Astra, thank you for the super chat. Gray, thank you. Okay, thank you very much. We are going to spin your wheel, Gray. Gray, are you still with us? Gray, please come to the stage. Let's give it a spin. Let's see what Gray's gonna get. It's okay, Gray. I can't type either. Honey, I can hardly read. No, I'm kidding. Oblivion. Ooh, spicy. Especially to come right after light. So I'm going to read you a little bit from my book here. This is my greater book of sorcery that I'm reading for. Oh, man. Okay, the void can be a little bit spicy, and I have spicy feelings and spicy opinions about it. However, this demi virtue is made of void and death. It is the consuming nothingness that comes from the celestial realms above, kind of like a black hole consuming all that it can. Using this demi virtue in magic, I typically, this is me, typically, you will find other people's opinions here. If you have other opinions to me, feel free to voice them, okay, in the comments. I typically don't really recommend working with Oblivion. I do have some bias against this virtue, as oftentimes I have found a practitioner at the other end of that sort of blade, and they have found themselves corrupted and consumed by this power. I also personally believe, based off of my own data from witches I have known in real life, okay, as well as watched online, them work with this sort of virtue and they rot from the inside out. This magic, this power is inherently corruptive. And to think that weaving with it will not also eat you and corrupt you, I think is silly. And I think it's foolish. So I would say during this harvest season, look into Oblivion. Look into it and find what you feel about this particular virtue, this consuming of nothingness, this leading to nothing. It's, I think, quite diabolic. And I don't mean like diabolical, like drama, kiki, haha. I mean diabolical as in the end of everything. If you're a fan, okay, of the Wheel of Time, I feel like this is very like the idea of breaking the wheel, consuming the wheel and ending everything. I think taking care of yourself, both physically, your sleep cycle, your diet, your mental health, extremely important this harvest season, and just really checking in and being present with yourself and how you're doing, as well as your space. I mean, I think that one of like the magical housekeeping things that I keep is I feel like we all have void spots that kind of pop up in our home. You know, that junk drawer that you probably haven't cleaned for months or years? Like that sort of can coalesce void like energy, or that closet that you just throw stuff into. Maybe this harvest season, working with Oblivion, if you're going to, can be spent with counteracting some of it and doing a little bit of little housekeeping, you know. Oblivion's spicy. I think that this harvest season is going to be like big because that's a very spicy virtue. And I very much agree with this. I want to bring attention to this. Sometimes being unmade is necessary in order for new or healthier parts to grow. And that is very true. Does Oblivion always need to necessarily be the way to do that? I mean, that's not for me to decide. Do you need to use a shotgun to get a nail in the wall? I don't know if you need to. That's not for me to decide. You're welcome, Gray. Another thing with Oblivion as well. Void in general to me oftentimes feels like a poor investment. If I were to look at these virtues and see them as like magical investments in the same way that we would look at, you know, investing in stocks, and someone would say this has a high risk but a high reward, or this has a lower risk and a lower reward but a more consistent reward, right? Like as a witch looking at these virtues, I feel as though, sorry, I got a message. I feel as though looking at these virtues, there are virtues that carry higher risks and higher rewards and things of that nature. I just don't see the risk to reward value really matching up with the unmaking bit, because I have seen a lot of people unmake themselves with that. So that's why I just give that caution. Y'all do what you want to do. Okay? Y'all do what you want to do. Okay, let me try to get back. No, I'm not going to get back in the list. You guys, comment Otherworld in all caps right now. Right now, comment Otherworld in all caps. And I will pick randomly. It might be the first, it might be the first one that I see. Okay, we're doing save. I saw saves, we're doing saves. Okay. Save. Please come to the stage. This is so much fun. I am having so much fun with you guys doing this. You're welcome, Save. Save, we are going to spin the wheel. Let's see what we get. Yes, fell. Ooh, honey, I love this one. I love this one. I'm going to read you from the book here. This is from Ambrosia's Greater Book of Sorcery, available on Amazon. Just kidding. No, I'm not, actually, because I have the Greater Book pulled up. Wait. Guys, I'm so tired. Okay, I'm not going to call from the book. Fel, this is our very demonic sort of energy. When we are looking at the map here, Fel sort of splits into Discord and Mesmer, depending on what other virtue, right? Like light and Fel make Mesmer, chaos and Fel make Discord. Fel straight up is demonic. In the book, there is talks of a sort of gateway point to hell as a realm within the other world. So I think you could have a very fun, very demonic, really explore working with the infernal divine this harvest season. Really get into it. I don't really know a lot about your personal path or your practice or even how comfortable you are with some of this. But this is the virtue that is calling you now, the virtue of the adversarial, the virtue of the black sheep. Get into it this harvest season. Astra, do you have anything that you feel like I could add here more about Fel? Hello, Bren. Okay, you haven't done much infernal work. Okay, maybe take this harvest time too with getting the virtue of Fel sort of calling you as a time to explore that more. Even if it's not necessarily like having a serious relationship with the infernal divine or really pacting with demons necessarily, because I know that that's not always everyone's thing. Use this as a time to like study some of the Goetia, study some of the Pseudomonarchia Daemonia, study some of Dante's Inferno. Analyze hell and the concept of hell and the concept of demons for yourself at this time and see how, if at all, you can apply it or weave it into your practice. Exactly. Okay, let's do another one. I don't see any other VIP folks in line. Again, if you would like to skip the line, you are welcome to leave a tip, get on the VIP list. There are none right now. So what we're going to do is type Otherworld in all capital. Jinx, you said it before I could finish. You're next. Let's get into it. Jinx, please come to the stage. Jinx, please come to the stage. Give the wheel a spin. Let's see what we get for Jinx. Hello, Jinx. So as you just saw, the part of the wheel that you have gotten is order. This is the virtue that is calling you now. And I don't know why, but like in my brain rot mind, I just thought like, get it in order. Okay. Get it in order. Hello. Now on the wheel, this is going to be falling between life and light. So it has some of those aspects of that immortality, that life everlasting, that abundant green and all things of that realm, as well as that purifying light, that cleansing and burning, blasting, perception altering light. Oh my God. Order is trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Hey, maybe. Hey, what's that extended warranty like? How's that set up? Maybe it's time to get that in order. Order, I feel like, can also be a little bit Saturnian in a way. And I think some people don't always think of order that way because Saturn is really restrictive and Saturn really keys in on our responsibilities. And order is necessary in order for things to remain in balance, in order for things to be in harmony, in order for life to not overly grow and kill itself. And also in order for light to not blind everything. Like order is a very important virtue that I think a lot of people often just find boring or Like they just don't really want to work with order. And I think order can be really beneficial for connecting with your own personal rituals, what those structures are, be them like magical rituals or like daily rituals. Like, I'm sure all of us have a certain way of going about our day when we first wake up in the morning. And we do little things like how we make our coffee or brush our teeth or shower and get dressed and whatever. Like, we do things in a certain order that make us feel like we're in the right alignment. And that's an example of the virtue of order, I feel like. So, the natural flow of nature is chaos within order. Yeah, I can see that too, Draven. I would also agree with this. Order, much like any virtue, can also be very corruptive when used the wrong way. Please be advised. I mean, yeah, like let's take a look at obsessive like compulsions for the need to have everything in a specific order. When we become paralyzed when things are out of order because it just completely disrupts our nervous system. That's a good point. And also too, I know that I have my spicy takes about some of these virtues, but we all have our own alignments as well. We all have our own alignments. My personal alignments and my personal life experiences are in a way that cause me to view these virtues through the lens that I am looking at them from. Your alignments may be different. What necessarily works for me could be poison for you. So keep that in mind too. All of these virtues can really be corruptive. All of these virtues, their medicine very much can become poison. Again, I perceive some of these virtues as a higher risk than others. But sure, drinking too much water can poison you. Drinking too much water can harm you. Water, something our body literally needs to survive, can kill you. Drinking bleach might have a little bit of like different effects. Could also end your life as well. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, let's do it again. All capital letters, Otherworld. I'll pick somebody out. I'm going to reload. Reload. What's that video game I'm thinking of? Okay, let's do Maple. Maple Grove, please come to the stage, darling. Maple Grove, darling, please come to the stage. Let's get a spin. Maple, did you just see that? Did you even see it, or did I not share the screen? I don't know if I even shared the screen. You got Discord is what you got, babes. I apologize if I didn't share that screen. So Discord, I am going to be reading you from this greater book. I apologize if I did not share it. Discord, this demi-virtue is made of chaos and fel. It is a counter to order. So fun that we have this coming up after we just got done talking about order. Discord is the intention of breaking or shattering. It's the disruptive nature of chaos. using discord as a demi-virtue can be beneficial in workings of war, malefica, and disharmony. Okay? So it could be a very Mars planetary aligned harvest season. It could be a time to be a rock chick and throw stuff around, raise a little bit of hell, cause a little bit of discord, start a little bit of drama, speak your mind, be a little bit messy. Be a little bit messy. Okay? I know that in the book as well, and talking about this virtue of discord on this axis point in the other world in the map, there is a black tent that could be of interest in the other world. And yeah, you could also view this too. Maybe I'm being a little bit too chaotic. Maybe I'm a little bit too fell and excited. You could also view this as like maybe soothing discord. Excuse me. You could view this as maybe soothing discord, you know, preventing discord if you have maybe some important engagements or family arrangements happening during this harvest season, August, September, October specifically, and weaving some magic to sort of counteract or ward against, because I feel like this exercise could also apply to that as well. Like this virtue that is calling, that ends up on the wheel that is spun, you know, could be an option for you to work with, or maybe it could be more of an option for you to ward against too. So that's up to you on how you want to navigate that and handle that. So I hope that that was helpful. Yeah, Mars, I feel like would be a really good planet to work with discord with, because of its like planetary associations of kind of conflict and war and some aggression. But I also feel like Venus could complement discord very well. We have a lot of Venusian correspondences. I mean, so many of like these great wars were started by like this love goddess, and love and war and love and hate often go hand in hand and are practicing infidelity. Okay. So you could also get into that this harvest time as well. And yeah, I mentioned this earlier, but just in case you're just now joining, okay, just some general guidelines, rules to follow. Okay, thank you. All right, let's do Otherworld. Let's see some Otherworld comments, and I'll pick from that. Because guys, it's honestly just easier for me than trying to scroll up through the chat. It takes me an awkwardly long amount of time to do so. All right. Hex, please come to the stage. Hex, please come to the stage. We are going to be spinning your wheel, and I will share it this time. Here was the last one. I promise I was being honest. You really did get Discord. I'm sorry I forgot to share it. Okay? Let's spin the wheel. Life! Hex, you're giving us life. Okay? This harvest season, this is the virtue that is calling you. Life, life everlasting, living your life, living abundantly. What is it that you desire most right now? What is it that you would really like to birth or bring in to manifest right now? What is it that you would really like to be growing right now? Literally, metaphorically, this is the virtue to be working with. Life. We're talking about that tower of Grydell. We're talking about the north. This is calling you now to work in the midworld with this virtue. Or maybe you need to go to the other world. Maybe you need to spend some time in that northern realm of that other world, babe. Get into it. Okay. All right, let's do the Divine Dragoness Mai. Okay. Are you here? You're welcome, Hex. I'm probably maybe just going to do one or two more. Honestly, this is fun, but it is a lot. I'm having a great time. I love doing this with you all. If I do this again, I will try to have this a little bit more structured. Okay? I think it would be helpful for me to do this maybe with a co-host so I can get more of a list, more structured, instead of all of the other worlds coming at me all at once. Okay, let me bring this up. Ooh. Okay, so we have Undeath. I'm going to be reading you directly from this book. This is the Greater Book, Ambrosia's Greater Book of Sorcery. Let's get into it. This demi-virtue is made of life and darkness. Undeath is life inverted in on itself, somewhere between life and death. In a way, it is the ichor, or the immortal blood. Okay. Using this demi-virtue in magic can be beneficial for workings related to death and preservation, breaking cycles, going against the laws of nature. Because, honey, sometimes laws are meant to be broken. Honey, let's get into it. Undeath is powerful for rot and decay workings, malefica as well. If any of you are a fan of World of Warcraft, okay, I know I am. Hello. Hello. I would say Undeath is very similar to how that game portrays the magic of Drust. Drust is like undeath magic, basically. And it's very similar to everything I just read off from. Yes, thank you. Undeath is very liminal as well. Draven, I know I've seen you comment a couple of times, and I do want to make sure that I get to yours as well. So I'm just going to put you up here since I saw this comment, and we're going to spin your wheel, Draven. Draven, please come to the stage. Life. Life. So you're welcome. Excuse me. So life. So as kind of mentioned, this is that northern tip of the wheel there. This is, you can think of it in many ways very much as like this sense of like green magic, of growth, of life everlasting. What are we harvesting right now? What are we growing right now? What are we wanting to plant seeds for? It's very harvest coded in general. I feel like it's very earth aligned. The fall season is deeply associated with earth. So you can think of all of those aspects as to like, what should we be maybe weaving with? And also, like we were talking about before, with sort of like checks and balances and how all of these virtues can inherently become corruptive. You know, life can get out of control. Sometimes abundance can be an abundance of everything. So that's why sometimes other virtues like order can be beneficial for sort of giving it more shape and constricting that virtue into a way that it is in alignment with what we desire. You know, it's kind of like you can do a prosperity working or an abundance working and have the intention to bring richness into your life, and you can end up conjuring a richness of a whole lot of things in your life, an abundance of a whole lot of things if you're not specific. Like, that's an example of how order can really complement life, because we're giving order and giving shape to what it is that we are looking to conjure. That's awesome. You're getting life, you're breathing life into this practice coming out of this chrysalis. Think this harvest season too of like, what do you want for your life? Where do you want your life to be in the next 4 months, the next 5 months, the next 6 months? Who do you want to be? Where do you want to go with that? What would you like to grow? Because you grow through what you go through. Hey, period. I know it's cheesy. All right, let's get Otherworld. I don't know what my neighbors are doing. Can y'all hear that? Comment an Otherworld down below. I'm going to scroll up a bit in this chat just for a minute. Comment Otherworld, and then I'll scroll down here in just a minute, and I'll kind of just pick one at random. I just said I was going to do like 1 or 2 more, but I'm going to only do 1 or 2 more after this. This is the last 1 or 2 more. We will do this again. I promise. All right. Archangelus, please come to the stage. Let's give it a spin. Very fitting, very fitting. As we are getting ready to enter death's season, the season of the witch, the season of the dead, the harvest tide, as we are approaching the red day, as we are approaching the first harvest, death as a virtue in general, I think is quite abundant to tap into and to work with, working with the chthonic, working with that gateway access point to the underworld. As far as Witch Flight goes, I've written these 3 books really focused on the other world. I may or may not, allegedly and for entertainment purposes only, have other ideas about flight to the other worlds other than the other world, if you're following what I'm saying. There is a sort of access point in that Western realm to the underworld, in my experience, and the experience of other witches as well. I think that this harvest season, it's important to focus and really key in on death. What needs to be reaped? What needs to be slaughtered at this time? And also focusing in on our red soul, honoring those mighty and those beloved dead, looking to the witches of the past, be them historically, as in literal historical witches from trial records and pulling strength, power, and inspiration from them, or folklorically as well, and honoring them with reverence. That red soul does also include your beloved dead, so your literal ancestors as well. I think that this harvest season, death in general, is going to be a really powerful virtue and theme for you if you welcome it and allow it and weave with it. So thank you. And I look forward to talking with you soon. All right, you guys. Actually, I think that is going to be my last one. I hope that you all have enjoyed this. Put some 1s in the chat down below if you have enjoyed this. I really do apologize that I was not able to get to everyone. Like, that's always my hope and my intention. As always, feel free to check out my links down below. You're welcome to reach out to me. The best way to do so is sending me a DM on Instagram. Okay. If you would like to book a full reading with me, we can talk about that over there. Or if you would just like to talk, you don't necessarily have to pay me just to talk to me. Okay. So feel free to contact me over on Instagram. I will get back with you if and when I get back with you. Okay. Just to set that boundary and expectation now. Thank you all so much for watching. I would love to do this again soon-ish, maybe in the future. Maybe we'll do it after the harvest season, and maybe we'll do it for winter. And maybe the next time I do it, I will have a co-host or someone with me to help me stay on track and not get as overwhelmed. This was fun. This was great. I love you all so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. And until next time, blessed be. And I will see you all in hell or the other world or the underworld. Bye.